Soul. Soul is a conglomerate and not a unit as thought by many. It has four parts, namely Buddhi, Ahankar, Manas, and Chit. They need to be purified thoroughly so that link with the divine is established. God has willed that all should be happy and contented. It is only we, with our attachments, created problems for ourselves. Ecstasy of soul. Question. The question is regarding the nature of the soul. So the answer given by Pujya K.C. Narayan sir is that I'm sure you have read Revered Babuji's clarifications on the identity. There are three concepts. One, soul. Two, identity. And three, individuality. My experience is that the individuality is a composite individuality is a composite of ego, manas, and buddhi with all their hues, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. You will note that all our relationships, the concepts of runa, debts, are included in this. And that is what is reborn based on the choice of this faculty to undergo certain portion of the karmas during the immediate next life. And this is what transmigrates, but as only part of the karmas are sought to be cleared in a particular life. The result of quite a lot of karma remains to be undergone normally during later lives. Due to sadhana, first we stop forming further samskaras by total dependency on the master. And the karma that we have opted to undergo during this life is gone through as also the balance of karma that we have proposed to undergo later in the next lives also are undergone either during meditations or during dreams. However, it is necessary that bhog of all previous karmas should be gone through before we come up to the stage of mere identity from the level of individuality. You are aware that unless the help of the master is there through pranahuti, and we attend to cleaning methods and meditation on points A and B as given by the great master regularly, the bhog cannot be completely gone through and the consciousness becomes nistrigunya. The identity as different from individuality has only consciousness as its body, while the individuality is invariably a conglomerate of sense organs, motor organs, manas, and ahankar. However, my experience is that while simple and silent identity is felt, it is also accompanied by the feeling of devotion to Master. Perhaps that is the nature of the soul or identity, namely, to be devoted to Master with total simplicity. No emotional overtones are there, no ecstasy is there, no prayers are there. It is just an awareness of being. Master perhaps refers to this when he says neither the beggar nor beggar's bowl is there, but only begging. I do not know how to express it better. The soul or identity is mere consciousness of nothingness. Neither the idea of vacuum nor the idea of space is there. There are no thoughts but simple awareness of nothingness. It is neither a bubble nor water, but the memory of having been a bubble. I do not know whether what I have written makes the matter any clearer, but this is what but this is what I know. While the devotedness and dependency are felt during the meditations, in actual day-to-day life, this consciousness can take only the form of service to master, kainkarya, and any other form of expression of this is only a residual effect of the individuality. These states are the agony and the ecstasy of the soul. So I'll stop here for any clarifications. If not, then I'll continue. So the next topic is God. As for God, I never sought nor am I interested. Except the Kaushitiki Upanishad, no one has described God and his land. All others talked of Brahman. Our master leads us to nothingness through Brahmagati and nothing more. If we cling to our pet notions of God and his manifestations, however great they may be, I am of opinion they are sufficiently heavy and the heart feels loaded with some stone. Question. I am always told and convinced that God is the first priority. Divine work, including sadhana, must always override all other things. I am trying to give sadhana high importance. I know I am not successful all times. So answer to it is I do not want to dwell about God as a goal of life, as no one for sure can explain anything about it to others. I think you need to read the book 10 Commandments of Sri Ramchandra. Another shortcoming on my part is that I am still not able to accept the master in toto. I still see difference between God and master. Answer is neither you know the master nor the God. Then why do you bother about their difference? Next topic is Atman and Brahman. Atman and Brahman, first of all, are not entities, but only conglomerates. Atman consists of Buddhi, Manas, Chit, and Ahankar. So long as these faculties function moving in a limited sphere, it is called Atman. When the same conglomerate grows by its functions, obviously thought, it gets called by the name Brahman. Atman from its initial state of thinking and moving in its sphere grows first into the stages of Rishi, Rajarshi, and Brahmarshi. Paramatman is the word that has been usually used in religion to note the first and foremost expression of the divine and is not a stage of the Atman. I do not know whether you are clear about these concepts. Ego. The ego is not something that goes before getting into higher realms, but that is what we were asked to learn. That ego is different from the development of ego through the rings of egoism that Master talks about. I am not able to understand the demand to know everything. Certain things are better not known. That is the system of Revered Babuji. He, in his wisdom, has saved us from knowing everything, lest it develops ego. Still, you want to know because it is said so in tradition or in scriptures. If he is, if he spoke with authority, he has the authority. Is it not enough that we are humble servants of the Master? Is it too small? Don't you think your craving in this regard is a product of ego? Please do not misunderstand. I am only trying to tell you our limitations and the limitations imposed by the Master on our work. What is the value of knowledge if it is not for action? When he says he uses us for his work without our conscious knowledge and will do and will do you still feel that you are to get that awareness? Don't you think that the so-called dissatisfaction arising out of this is only a fiction of the ego? Having reached high states of consciousness and spiritual development, it is only service to the Master that counts. I'll stop here for some time. Shall we continue, sir?
Yeah.
The next topic is general clarifications on different topics. So first one is on the topic of Master. So the question being asked is, I request you to explain me what should be the role of this special personality, Guru, Master mentioned by our Babuji, with respect to our sadhana or in the methods of meditation that we do, and what exactly is the connection with him. The connection with our beloved Master, who is also the special personality, is what is given at the time of introduction into our system of practice. He is our guide, Guru, and Master. The special personality has many other things to do than training us, and that is the work he discharges to nature as per the need and the command from nature. It is appropriate to consider you, trainer Babuji, but physically only you are available to us as my master or guru, who will help for my spiritual progress and also meaningful for some of the methods we follow, like receiving sacred current entering our hearts during the cleaning process and pranahuti during satsangs and individual sittings. It is the master alone who helps the aspirant. The trainers, according to the level of their approach, assist the aspirant to move in the spiritual path. However, the pranavati offered is always from the source or divine only. The following example, however crude it might be, will be useful to understand. The power from the Heidel project is the same, yet it works in a bulb, a fan, or oven in different varieties. Similarly, the power of pranavati is the same, but the trainers modulate it according to their capacity. If the individual self of the trainer is brought to near nothingness, the transmission would be the same as it is from the master. It is the degree of nothingness that is achieved by the trainer that is the cause of different types of transmission. In our institute, every effort is made to ensure that the level of transmission is not less than that of Brahman, even as ordained by Master in the book Reality at Dawn. You are considering me as a brother helping in sadhana is good, but to think that I am your guru is not correct. Guru always is revered Babuji. If we accept someone than him as the guide, there is an inevitable tendency to form what is called a Guru Parampara in Hindu tradition. It is there in other traditions also. This leads over a period of generations to dilution of the quality of the Guru himself, as every successive generation of Gurus would have added their nominal identities to the Guru, and the Guru himself becomes a gross entity most unintentionally. This is what has happened in other systems, as you are aware of our acharyas of different sects. Pranahuti is an act of will supported by the divine will because of the connection the trainer has got with the master specifically for this purpose. Receiving grace is a different matter altogether. The master has defined grace as the sweetness of heart of God, and I like this definition much. What love divine has for us, only those who enjoy can appreciate. The sacred waves of the ocean of bliss that we experience is due to the cleaning method advocated by the system. This is in fact our own will that is taking this shape. If we, however, convert the evening cleaning method as prayer, this attitude of thinking that the waves are coming to us from Master gets accommodated, and the effectiveness of cleaning itself gets affected. Cleaning is always an act of will on our part. The suggestions have to be clearly understood. The next topic is goal. Question is about there is no change in my goal, and it is complete oneness with Babuji Maharaj. So answer to it, it is good to think so. As my revered father puts it, see manual, the condition of the master has to be in our center of devotion. Nothingness and nothing short of nothingness is our goal. Sentiments, all right. What is realization? Please do note, realization means making something actual in our life and cannot be confused as Vedantins do with the merger in an imaginary Brahman. Brahmagati is the truth. Brahman as a person is an illusion. These are matters of experience. As a matter of fact, one of the means other than that of karma, jnana, bhakti, and prapatti yogas is the understanding of real nature of the avatar or the Supreme Personality. One who knows this gets to be one with him and attains the state of realization. Goal clarity is, if I may suggest, is to become sons of spirituality, which for me is more practical way of looking at the subject of realization, even as Master has put it. Craving. Just before the end, there was a feeling of restlessness. My trainer said it was due to the fact that we are unable to take that much grace from the Master. After all the sittings, there is always a feeling of settledness. The mood is very upbeat, and there is feeling that everything is good in life. Restlessness is not only due to the vessel being full, but also due to craving. Dreams. Sometimes I get nightmares which I am scared to recollect. Nightmares are no good to have. You surely require a few individual sittings, and you should be strict in cleaning yourself in the evening. Doing prayer before going to bed, placing yourself before the Master in total submission will help you. Sometimes during sadhana and sleep, I am feeling as if I am flying and walking in the air. Dreams of flying denotes that you are feeling insecure and there are unknown apprehensions. Trusteeship. Many a times I do get irritated, but I think about Master and get back to normalcy. I thank you for your guidance. When we do things as a matter of compulsion, irritation is the result. Try as far as possible to discharge your duties as a trustee, as our Master has suggested. It may take time, but you will surely succeed. Tradition. Sometimes I get a thought of going to temple and feel I miss it also. For the past few days I am getting this thought, but suddenly I awake, awake myself and get into Master's thought. I do not know the reason for this thought. It comes to me sometimes, not always. When we think about God, we think of temples also. This has been part of our life. So long as we know that realization or liberation does not come from visiting temples and also know that it is only social custom, there is no problem about going to temples. I am following the system more seriously for the past 1 year. First of all, it took me some time to come out of my daily slokas, pujas, and some vratams Now I am clear in my path. Pujas and slokas have their own purpose, and surely it is because of such pious practices you have now come to this system that helps us move towards our real goal. God is Samavarti, and therefore no effort goes waste. I felt that Lord Hanuman is flying in the sky and seeing all the people on the earth, and I am in Hanuman seeing all people. Our path is too straight to accommodate the personalities of your, however great they are. In fact, none of them respond to us, and it is fancy of our imagination that runs wild due to pseudo-religious and pseudo-traditional knowledge we acquired from our elders and well-wishers. Please do attend to cleaning more assiduously. As for the question how long you should do the Shraddha and Tarpana, etc., I have no answer to give. In the present circumstances, the way given by Revered Lalaji in Truth Eternal, in the chapter on karma regarding customs and religious rites, may be the best source. You may think and take appropriate decision. I do not have any expertise on religious customs and rites, which, if I remember right, I had always contempt for the apparent hypocrisy. Whenever I did any such thing, it was to please my wife and also to see that poor Brahmin community is also fed properly. Miracles. I do not believe in miracles, nor advocate them as arguments for showing the greatness of my master. Miracles, if supported, mean that we are supporting unnatural things. Several things happen, and some appear to be good for us and some bad. It is all a matter of judgment and perspective. I have had many occasions where death was just by the side, and I never suffered from the feeling that I, an insignificant being before God, merited His attention to save me. That is the humility and also rationality. In our system, there are no miracles. Everything is systematically delivered to the aspirant according to merits. Self-pity. Self-pity is a great luxury. Please do not fall into this pit. We can manage all other luxuries and get out of them. So in your letter, you expressed a feeling that you are not able to mold any person so far. Again, is it of any of our concern? Is not molding ourselves so that it may arouse a feeling of piety and love in others the commandment? Every jiva has its own samskaras and vasanas, and our task shall be never to tinker with them. It is a divine decree that it is a divine decree and sacred pact with the divine. The jiva has, as as was well stated by Swami Vivekananda. Who are we, and how are we to do the job of molding others? Is the self effort evident here? Comparisons with others in this regard, thinking that they have molded others, do you think are justified? You can see the play of ego in all these views. We are participating in the great task undertaken by the Master, and it is his work alone. The greatness of revered Lalaji Maharaj is that he was able to make a plea and succeed in bringing the center yawning towards the circumference. Ponder over that. That is the basis of Pranahuti. The Pranasya Pranaha has yielded to the request of the great Master. How can humanity repay this debt? Never, never, never. That we are enabled to work in this great task is our luck. Perhaps that is itself the grace. Don't you also see in this statement of yours a sense of self-pity? Watch out your feelings and come to the correct perspective. So, effect of movies. You had already observed that the cinemas have an effect on you during meditations. You may think over this and slowly reduce the time spent on them. Thoughts, so long as they do not disturb our meditation, need not be given importance. You may try to read again the articles on control of mind and concentration of our master so that this phenomenon does not bother you much. I'll stop here.
Yeah. Okay, we'll meet next Sunday then.